Hi, loves. So, I just got a nudge to hop on live. I already did a live today, so this is interesting that I'm doing another one. And I titled this one Intuitive Flow just because I feel like I'm going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. And I don't know how long this is going to be, so stick around. Um, yeah, so let's just go ahead and anchor in ground. Let's take a few breaths and really just open ourselves into whatever information wants to flow through. So, we're just going to sink down, feel our sits bones beneath us, feel our feet anchored into the floor. Feeling our grounding cord deep in Mother Gaia, feeling her support, feeling our guides around us, our angels around us, feeling our own wings, feeling our light radiate from our being as our energy reaches the cosmos, reaches the great central sun that is source, that is God, that is universe, that is all. Feeling this empowerment within our own bodies as we enter into this quantum realm, this experience within all timelines and dimensions as we converge into this moment. Welcoming this experience and opening ourselves to be channels to receive feelings, memories, information, guidance of anything that desires to come through. Okay, beautiful. So, welcome. Let's just see what comes through. I just feel like opening my channel real fast. So let's just see what information comes through and then we can go from there. So, information. Let's just see any information, my guides, higher selves, angels, who wants to come through, any information you have for us. Alchemy and colors. Seeing a lot of rainbow in the shape of an eye. What else? Clearing your channels. Okay, interesting. Anything else? Okay, you want me to talk about this for a second? So the first thing that came through was an eyeball with rainbow colors around it, which like made out of rainbows, which for me is an activation of the auric body. That is what I perceive it as. That's how I translate that. Just that our auric field is expanding within each individual. Our aura bodies are activating greatly, and they're really like our chakras are like in overtime type of situation, activating these layers. So this can be bringing up a lot of traumas, a lot of programmings to the surface so that we are clearing out our energetic body. So energy hygiene is going to be really important around this time, especially as we progress into Leo season. Just making sure your energy is your energy and that nobody else is influencing it. So make sure your boundaries are up. Make sure you can go through and do some aura fluffing. If you're interested in that, let me know. I can definitely guide you through that. But just making sure that you're aware of your own energy and making sure that you are the one who is in charge of what energy is going on within you and around you, and that nobody else is penetrating within your energy. The other image that was shown to me was Earth, more so within the collective. It's as if Earth itself is being wrapped in a like pastel-y band-aid. So all of this trauma that we've been through and all of this alchemy that we've been going through, we're just really being supported right now to just wrap ourselves and be very nurturing. Just take time with ourselves, with loved ones, just with friends, family, whoever it is for you, your dog. Just really just enjoy. Enjoy those small moments, the little moments of not talking, but just sharing space, or not even being in the same space, but acknowledging that you're sharing a life together, and that you share a connection. Just really supporting and being nurturing of the connections that you do have, and also the life that you do have. That's really what this was showing, and on the individual level. And then when we go macro, we can see the human collective is really being guided to just support this human experience and wrap it in a band-aid. Be like, this is This is what's happening, and we're here to support. We're here to protect. Because when I think of a Band-Aid, I think of you have the wound, and then the Band-Aid goes over as a covering, as a protective coating. And so when we're diving into more of the human collective, we're being guided to put a Band-Aid over it, protect it, save it, and really shield it from any external forces that could make it worse. And so we're just like, we're supporting you and we're protecting you. This isn't going to get worse. This can only get better because we're here supporting this progression, this transformation. So those were the two things that came through. And so for those just hopping on where I'm just going through any intuitive things, I'm just talking, really not quite sure how long. I just got guided to hop on another live. This is the second one today, so this is interesting. But yeah, let's see, anything else that wants to come through here? Any topics that want to happen? Okay, so they're just saying, Landon, just talk about your experience. Cool, so this will be interesting. um, for those who don't know, I just got back from 6 months in Nicaragua, and I just got back to the United States. And this has been an interesting experience, to say the least. Like, that's to just put it lightly. My experience in Nicaragua was very revealing to just how systematic the United States is. Because growing up in the States, I just thought this is just how it is, and it's simple and easy, and we can go to the grocery store, and then we can go to the gas station, and like these are just how it happens. And we go to school, and then we come back, and then we get into a job, and then we, like, very matrixy. Living in Costa Rica and Nicaragua, I learned that that's not how it is everywhere, and that the priorities and the focus can be something other than work. In Nicaragua, you have people working for their family business. Everybody goes to work, they work the land, they grow the food, they share it within the community, and then at nighttime when the sun goes down, they don't have street lights, so they're not out hustling and bustling until 2 a.m. They're all at home on their front porch with their family, whether or not they're scrolling their phone or actually having conversation, depends, but they're all at home together. Like, that's a main focus, just because that's where they're at. And it shifted things for me because in my life, that hasn't quite been a focus. It's always been, okay, you're going to go to school, you're going to get a job, and then you're going to work to make money so that you can pay your rent. Like, that type of situation, very within this system that has been taught generation by generation. And behind that teaching is a little bit of fear. A fear of what happens if you break out of the system, what happens if you don't go to school, get the job, and pay the stuff. What happens if you don't? Like, there's fear behind that what if. Going and traveling, it showed me that the system that we're taught is the one and only is not what actually is, and that this system is actually detrimental to this planet and to our own human evolution and our own human experience. We are not meant to go to school and get taught the same thing as the person next to you, because your soul has a different perspective and you understand things differently than the person next to you, and you understand different subjects than the person next to you. You're interested in different things than this other person, and so your interests are different than my interests. You're going to learn things more deeply than I'm going to learn the things that I'm learning. My life is different than your life, and that's just how it is. We can go through schooling and be taught math, English, science, but then within that, what are we actually gaining? And so when I was traveling in Nicaragua, they're being taught survival. They're being taught necessities. They're being taught how to farm. They're being taught how to speak. They're being taught how to work the land and how to sell things and how to, like, the necessities. And they're completely happy with it. They're just like, this is my life, and I have food in the backyard, and I have a family, and I have a place to sleep. This is my life, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful to see the simplicity of, I grow food for me, my community, and we share, and the community that I have then shares with me, and it's very communal. Yes, there's still a financial system, they still have currency, but it doesn't feel as systematic as the United States. And so coming back to the United States and seeing the separation even between properties has been a major thing that it just makes me laugh. It literally makes me laugh just walking down the street and seeing signs saying, beware of dog, another sign saying, don't mind the dog, beware of the owner. And just like warning, no trespassing. I didn't see those when I was in Nicaragua because the pathways to get from point A to point B is through people's land. You walk between the community, you meet people, you say hi to people, versus in the United States, it's very separate. And so when I view this life as we're all source being fragments of the source consciousness. We're all whole in our own self, but we are an aspect of source, perceiving the world as individuals. But in that perception, we are separate. I'm separate from you and you are separate from me, but we are the same, but we are still separate. But then the system that we're living in the United States is separating us even more. And we're just like okay with it, saying that's my neighbor's house, this is my house, this is my property, that's their property. When in the grand scheme of things, everything is earth, everything is Gaia, everything belongs to the source consciousness, and this is all just a perception, a hologram. That's what this is. And experiencing it and really giving and feeding into this continual separation, especially right now, especially over the past few years, year and a half, of just the continual separation and now the continual polarizing of humanity, of the jab, the not the jab, the mask, the not the mask, the educated, the not educated. Like, there's so much polarity that's happening right now that when we really just come back to the source, come back to that origin point, what is the essence of humanity and what is the purpose of our being, this really doesn't, none of it matters. None of it matters, and this continual separation that is happening is just more distraction, more distraction, more distraction to distract us from what is actually happening on the internal level, on the quantum level, on the subconscious level, on the, like, the inside. The inside, that's where the transformation is happening, and if we're not paying attention to that, and if we're not giving power to that, it's still happening, it's still transforming, it's just not going to be as fast-tracked as it could be if we were to consciously pay attention and be aware, consciously aware, that's basic, that's redundant, but if we're not being conscious of what's actually happening, we're just snailing our like slow pace through this transformation, versus if we pay attention and all of these things we pay attention to, oh, this is adding more polarity, we can neutralize that within myself. And then within the conversations I'm having, maybe I'm not going to neutralize that person's perception, but I can neutralize their projection to me of that polarity. I can neutralize that because my intention, my awareness, and my understanding of what all is happening can neutralize that. And this is what I'm experiencing right now. Especially, I'm visiting family right now, and it's very, opinion. There's a lot of opinions, and I love it. I love it. It's a good test. It's an exciting time, good time to play. But yeah, that's really what that's what I'm experiencing. Because even when I was visiting in Nicaragua, you didn't really hear of the jab or the masks. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's like disconnecting from a system that is being really targeted to certain countries and really expounded within certain countries, and the media doesn't help. It doesn't help that even on the algorithms of social media don't help to really get the accurate information. And if I'm looking this way, it's because that's normally where I see information coming. But yeah, it's just been so drastic coming back to the States, just seeing how blind people are to what actually is happening, at least the people that I've been coming in contact with. It's just they're going through their daily life as if, yeah, this is just what life is. This is the new norm. This is what's happening, and that I'm just going to adapt to it. Yes, adaptation is wonderful. I'm adapting to it as well. And we're just adapting to it in different ways. I'm not accepting that this is what the world will be like. I'm just, it's as if I was taught growing up to be in the world but not of the world. So yes, of course I'm going to abide, but I'm not going to really absorb these teachings. Because when you wear the mask or you get the needle, it's really polarizing. Even there's teachings out there that you can neutralize these. You can neutralize them. And so every time neutralizing, making sure my throat chakra is still open even when I'm covered. Or when I'm around people that have gone through the process, it's just like really just being aware of my integration into this new I want to say new world, but it's not. It's a crumbling, this integration into this crumbling. That's what I'm experiencing. Because when I'm in Nicaragua, it's thriving. There's still enough food. There's still enough shelter. Like it's, versus here, I feel like everything is falling apart. The financial structure falling apart, and the food industry falling apart. What else? The governmental system, we don't even need to talk about that. But it seems like everything is crumbling into a process that is eventually going to grow and blossom into something beautiful. But experiencing and really stepping into this box, this bubble where blinders are on almost everyone, it's surprising just how many people have blocked themselves to really seeing what is really going on and even feeling it. We are human and we have the beautiful potential to really feel into things. And in the feeling, that's when we bring it down from this third dimensional and we bring it into the fourth dimension. And then we can, once we feel it very strongly, and then we're like, okay, well, what is this? And asking that question, that fourth dimension, then when we have the answer of, oh, this is just me, this is just experience, this is just source consciousness, that's the fifth dimension. That is the alchemizing process. The third dimension into the fifth dimension. You can, the old earth into the new earth, whatever you want to call it. That's the alchemy process that we're going through. We're going from this dense state of consciousness into a higher state, or a more alchemized state, into what actually is, who we actually are. And it's that feeling, we need to be feeling these emotions, whether it's fear, anger, sadness, happiness, joy. All of these emotions are potent energies to really alchemize into these higher frequencies, these higher states of consciousness. And it's easy to do when I'm surrounded in jungle and nature and fresh cocos and chickens running the streets. Like, it's easy to do in those spaces. Here, it's so programmed. It's literally 2 years ago. I was on my way back from working my host job at the Cheesecake Factory, and I got this intense download. Literally, as I was driving, and I was just like crying as I was driving home. It was literally, so I saw a map of the states, and above it was as if a net. It was before that. It was a map of the states, and on the states there were points of light that started like to ping up. There was, I think, 4, 5. I'm not quite sure the number. It was a long time ago. But then those points connected the dots between the points, like connecting the dots. that's what happened. And then because of that, then the lines started shining on each other, and so it was this grid, specifically over the United States. I'm not quite sure what was happening in the other countries, but over the United States, there was this grid that put this shield over the United States to keep it in a bubble, to keep everybody inside extremely programmed. And there's a lot, I could have perceived this very differently, but my guides are very clear, and this was very malevolent energy that was being activated and pinpointed and put into effect. And this was back in February, because I only worked at that restaurant for 3 months. So this was back in February. of 2020 is when I got this download, and there was this net, this grid that was put over the United States to keep in this programming and to really ingrain within the citizens. And so when I went to Nicaragua, it was like this breath of fresh air. Literally, the air was better, but also it's just open space and beauty and community, just so gorgeous. And now stepping back in, seeing the clear separation is just so, it's not triggering so much as it is kind of sad. And now I'm over here, okay, sad, let me feel that emotion. Let my human really embody that emotion so that we can bring it into the physical, so that we can alchemize it into the higher dimensions. All from travel, it brings up so much. Um, but yeah, that's that process. I'm just gonna let that simmer for a second as my mind comes into years. But what are we saying? So much separation when we need to get together. Yes, 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 yes. The call for community, building community, has been so strong. And even last year, there were a lot of predictions that 2021 was the year of community, whether it's virtual or physical. Really, that call from all light workers, star seeds, whatever you want to call us, the call for community to be supported in this work is so potent right now. And then Pluto return for USA is very obvious. Love how you say crumbling, right? It's literally what it is. Just crumble, crumble, crumble. Goodbye. Um, but yeah, I've been hearing that the empire, we're within a 5-year range of when empires normally fall. Like we're at the end of the USA empire. Um, so interesting. So interesting. Okay. I do have my cards available if anybody wants a reading, whether live or afterwards. You can just message here or DM me. But yeah, that's just, there's so much happening right now. Let's just see what's happening. What else? Any other information that wants to be shared right now? So I'm seeing a bridge. It's as if it's a painting and there's water in the background. It's like, I'm like, I must see images as like tarot imagery. So, and I also see a bird and a floaty. This is interesting. It's like those little like paper scenes in Broadway shows. Yeah, they're like carrying the water. Anyways, so to decipher this message, it's as if the bridge that we're feeling right now, there's a lot of energy going on, and for a long time, even like me and my friends and the other light workers and the other entrepreneurs that I'm connected with, it's as if we've been in a cocoon era for about 4 months now. It's like, oh, we're just in a cocoon right now. We were our little caterpillars and we were doing our little things, and now we're in cocoon phase. This is where we go inwards and we're just like doing our self-transformation. We can be connecting outwards a little bit, but the main focus is our inner work and just experiencing and then integrating that inner work with, okay, how do I experience this actual reality? And so within that integration phase is, I feel, what we're going through right now, and that's the bridge that we are experiencing, is this from this inner cocoon phase into, okay, I've been doing this, how can I continue to do that, but also integrate into the world to show other people how this process has changed me, but also how it can change them, and how my transformation is also impacting them just by them being around me. Like, they don't have to do anything for you to impact them. Get it? Um, and with that, the bridge is going over water. We have the water being emotions, being very flowy, just like go with what's happening. This is what I've been learning, is that we have this intention of the lightworker the lightworker realm. Interesting, we have our own realm. But we're going over this bridge of, I'm getting distracted by people talking. But we have this bridge of, we've been in the cocoon and now we're like, integration is a big, big thing right now. And we're integrating into this stage where the lives that we want to live are dreams. And we've grown up in Disney and everything, and dreams are reality, and your dreams can come true. But that's like, it's almost as if people believe that is a fairy tale, that our dreams coming true is a fairy tale, that that you have to work a job that you hate, and that the dreams are just a dream, and that you don't have time to work on that dream, and that dream will never come true. That's what we're actually integrating. We're integrating that dream to become the reality. The reality is that you are living a dream. The reality is that this already is heaven on earth, and that you just step into it as you are. You don't have to go anywhere, be anything, or do anything more than you already are. The dream is your life. It already is. You don't have to go outside of yourself to be what you already are. And that's what I feel has been really pushed. It's been very present in my life because I'm living a reality that is completely different than most people in what I view as my past life, which was like 2 years ago, of corporate world. You don't have to step outside of yourself and be something more. You already are everything that your dream requires. You just have to believe in your dream and trust that it will support you. For instance, my life. These type of situations, I don't normally make money from going live, from making posts, from traveling to Nicaragua. Like, I'm not making money doing these things, but because I'm living aligned with my soul purpose, my path, I know that the universe will support me. And right now, with the systems in place, that's either financially or bypass financials altogether. Somebody buys me meal, or I get housing for free, or just these type of situations. Which is another thing that I am anchoring in, is that I don't need the money, I just need the result. I don't need the money to go buy food. I just need the food because my body is still in the process of needing sustenance. When we're moving away from needing food and we're going to get food from other energy sources, it's going to be renewable energy, but that's a different topic. But that's the reality that I'm living. That's the reality that I am anchoring in and that I already am living, is that people buy me food, I get housing for free, and I live life free out of this systematic oppression that is the financial world, that is a controlling system, meant to keep us in fear, meant to keep us in scarcity, versus flipping the script. That scarcity then becomes empowerment, that empowerment then becomes power for you to live the life of your dreams, the life that you are meant to live, the life that you already are, that you're just not aware of, that you're just not trusting enough to actually live. I should do these more often. Anything else? I feel like I should do this like a whole series about these topics, because the financial system, and I just go on tangents. I do want to talk about that, actually, the financial situation. So, yesterday, actually, my dad asked me, how do you make money? What do you do for work? Are you working right now, or are you on vacation? My life, let's just talk about my life, because that's all I do. The work that I do, I just use my life experience, and I reflect it and apply it to other people and suggest things and do readings and find guidance and clarity, and then that's how I live. That's the work that I do, an aspect of it. Anyways, work, the financial world. I know that my needs are met. The universe provides for me. We don't need as much as we think we do. I don't need to eat as much as I think I need. My body, my habits are a little addicted to food, so I eat more than I need. Okay, because we're taught that we need to eat 3 times a day, and it needs to be X, Y, and Z, and we need this many calories, this many apples, this many oranges, this much sugar, this much, like, that's what we're taught. That's what we're taught. And the science and everything proves it, and you can, like, go back and support those systems. But if you look into it, there are people eating once a day, and this is just an example. There are people eating not once a day, There's people doing sun gazing and they're not eating at all. They drink water, yes, to replenish the water that is 75% of our body. That's that. But they're not eating. They don't eat food. So that's one way of living. That is their way of living. There's another way of living where this person eats once a day, because when your body is completely empty of food, of that nutrition, it then activates replenishing and nourishing elements of your body. When your stomach is completely empty, your digestion isn't even working, that's when enzymes are then able to get into your body. It's able to reduce aging, and it activates a sense of healing within your body. It's a natural process when we're completely empty. So that's another way of living. No food, one meal a day. Specific, you have to look into that. Then there's another one where it's like juice cleanse. And then you can only eat fruit. You can be vegan, vegetarian, omnivore, whatever. There's many different options of living your life. Not one is the one, not one is perfect, not one is better than the other. It's just different ways of living. And so when I apply that to the financial world, there's different ways of living the financial world. You can live paycheck to paycheck. You can spend, you can invest $20 stock market, $20 crypto, whatever you want to do. There's another way of living where it's 9 to 5. That's a way of living. There's a way of living where it's not 9 to 5. For me, I don't decipher whether or not I'm working or whether or not I'm living my life. This right here feels aligned, and so I feel like I'm having fun right now, like explaining all of this. This feels like I'm doing my life, but technically, this could also be considered work. This could be considered work time, I guess you could say. But for me, I love talking about this, so it's just, this is how I live my life. And so when I'm explaining to people who are living in the 9 to 5 matrixy system that what I do in my life is my work, it's a little mind-boggling, because it's not correlated with a financial income. And right now, it could be reflected, but there's also, I know people doing very similar work that they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so it's just it's like a give and take. And I know for me, it's because I still have some inner work to do. I still have some blockages to let down. I still have some more alignments to get with the abundance. I still have all of these things. And even with that, I still have this belief that I need to do something in order to receive. See what I'm talking about? It's all of these. I'm trying to slow down my mind. I have been noticing, my mom's been helping me realize that my mind moves really fast. And so if you have any questions, just type them in the chat or type them in the comments, and I'll touch on it. So slowing down. What was I talking about? I don't know. But what I do and then what I receive financially, I don't need a lot of money. That's not what I'm here to do. I don't like it. If I have it, I get rid of it. I just don't want it. And so that's reflected. But I know that I have a purpose, and that purpose desires an exchange. And that exchange tends to be most beneficial and most valued for most clients and friends when it's a financial exchange. That's what I've been finding. And so that's just ends up what is being, what happens. But I know that the financial system is the financial system is a hologram, and it's fake, and it's crumbling. Okay, and so I know that I don't need to rely on that, and I know that the universe supports me, and I know my needs are always met, and I always know that the universe provides, and I know that when I ask for it, I receive it, and I know that I'm going to receive more because I believe in it, and that's the reality that I anchor in and that I am living. My nose is a little oily, so my glasses keep sliding. Anyways, that's what's happening, and that's what I believe in, and so that is the reality that I see. But since others aren't believing in that, when I try to explain the life that I live, it doesn't connect. The neural pathways, they're misfiring, because those neural pathways in them are not connected. In me, they are. But it's similar because when they explain their life, I can understand a little bit of it because I lived the matrix system. When I walked through it the other day, I was like, why did I go through the jobs that I went through? It's because I needed to remember and understand what it was that I was coming back to. Because I've had these earth lives before. I just needed to remember what this matrix system is. I needed to experience it. I needed to experience every avenue of it. I did medical, I did artistry, I did service industry, I did hospitality, I did a wide range. And it's remembering. It's because I was able to remember that I can relate. I can relate. I can be sympathetic, and then my empathy can then take over, and I can be empathetic with these people, with others, with the reflections that are me. And it's in that reflection that I can then implement the correlation between my life and their life. And I can relate, and then I can bring those together. And I'm saying I, but I mean we. We can all do this. We can all do everything that I'm doing. But it's within these connections, within the remembering that I was raised in. I was raised in the matrixy system. I was raised in the religious systems. I was raised in the financial system. And now I'm understanding that these systems are fake. These systems are crumbling. And these systems are just systems. You don't have to live by them. And then I can then explain to the people still living within the system how it is that I'm doing what I'm doing. And how it is that these beliefs are creating what the reality that I am. How it is that I am now the creator. How it is that I am now the one running the show because I'm co-creating with those that are the universe. Those. It's an interesting choice. But yeah. Very interesting stuff. I just love this. So this is just my mind processing. This is what happens when I journal. This is what happens when I'm going on walks. So I figured I'd share with you what happens in my brain. It's interesting articulating it. But yeah, it's very interesting stuff. Explaining how to live in a world that runs on system. No. In the physical world run by elites that utilize these systems versus remembering we're the co-creators. We are the creators. And that our beliefs create our reality. And understanding that, it returns the power to us, the individual, the elements of source that are experiencing the individual, you, me. It returns the power to us when we remember that we are the creator. When we remember our power, when we empower ourselves to live the life that we want. If you desire $10,000, you can manifest $10,000. In doing that, it's going to break down any scarcity beliefs. It's going to break down any worthlessness beliefs, any failure beliefs, any abandonment beliefs. You're going to break those down in order to get that $10,000. Okay? And that's still living by the cause and effect that we were taught in what's it called? Traditional science, I guess I would say, versus the quantum mechanics that I'm now coming to understand of everything is potentials. Everything is potentials. We've always been living in potentials. I'm only living now because I started to observe the life that I wanted, the life of entrepreneurship, digital nomad, a friend to my clients. I've started to observe that reality, and so it became my reality. Because I started to observe it. I said, I want to travel, I want to be in charge of my schedule, and I really don't believe in the financial system, so I don't need a lot of money, but I still want to be, my needs still need to be met, and I still want to live, like, my lifestyle still needs to be supported. So that's the life that I created. Because I observed it. This was back in February last year. Like, it happened. It happened very, very fast. And it's because I started to observe that potential. The quantum realm states that everything in existence is energy. Okay, first and foremost, Einstein, everything is vibration. And because of that vibration, everything is potential. Everything is potential. The energy particle goes And once it's observed, it then becomes fact. It becomes form. But before it is observed, it's just vibration. It's just frequency. Once it is observed, it then becomes where it is. So for me to look into the future and say, this is what I want, this is what I'm desiring, this is what already is, and putting it out there, literally just putting it out there. I remember the specific day saying, I want to travel, and then I forgot about it. I said, that's the potential that I want, and then I forgot about it. Okay? Zero attachment to that possibility, and now it's a reality because I stated that this is the potential that I see, I observe that potential, and then I let it go. This is how the universe works. We observe the potential and then we let it go. Zero attachment to it. When we have attachment to it, we expect it to happen. We attach ourselves to it and say, this is what's going to happen. The universe will come in and say, you know what? If you want that, you're going to go through this, and then you're going to go through this, and then this, and this, and this, versus this is what's going to happen. And then we go about our life, and then it comes about more naturally, more flowy, more intuitively, and freely. I was talking about the financial system. See, I go on tangents. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. But yes, living free, living free. My intention for my life is freedom. I remember when I was first starting being more Instagram and social media, I was taught not to chase the money, because chasing the money is still chasing the physical, and chasing the physical is still limiting. It's limited. Versus chasing the feeling, chasing the embodiment, chasing the idea. And so the word that came up for me was freedom. I want to experience freedom, financial freedom, emotional freedom, physical freedom, mental freedom. I want freedom. That's what I desire. And so that's what is becoming. That's what I am observing already is. And the more I observe it already is, the more it becomes. And so within the financial system, it's just so interesting. Because the 9 to 5, you make a specific, you can observe and you can project and you can predict how much you're going to make. 9 to 5, I'm going to work 40 hours a week. This is what's going to happen. With my life, just as with everything, it's a flow. It's a give, it's a receive. Some months it's amazingly abundant, other financially. Other months it's amazingly abundant emotionally. Some months it's abundance, all of the above. Not holding the attachment to, I need to make a certain amount of money this month in order to survive. We're out of that mindset. We know that we're going to survive. Because we're infinite consciousness. Even if this physical body deteriorates, I know that I'm infinite consciousness. And so that releases the fear of mortality, which is another thing that as a collective we are going through right now. This fear of mortality, this fear of death. We are alchemizing that into infinite consciousness. I know that I am forever existent. And that belief is within religion. Not quite sure within atheist or agnostic, but infinite consciousness. I am a soul, I am consciousness, I am existent here, now, forever, infinite. When we actually observe that, when we actually embody that, when we actually believe that that is what is, we release the fear of dying. And it's not that it's not that we're calling in death. No, that's not what it is. No. It's that we're no longer afraid of it. We're no longer fearful of it. We're no longer resistant towards it. We can welcome it. Like in Harry Potter, they say he welcomed death as an old friend. When we really get to that point, we release all fear. Because within every fear, it's a fear of death. When we really get down to it. The fear of snakes. If the snake bites me, I'll feel pain. If I feel pain, I might die. Fear of death. Little example. So this financial system, if I don't have money, I won't be able to buy food. If I don't have food, I'll die. If I don't have shelter, I'll be outside. It's too hot. It's too cold. I'll die. Fear of death. That's really what we're really focusing on. Abandonment. I might die if I'm alone. Failure. If I'm not successful, I won't have anything. If I don't have anything, I'll die. Like, these are just beliefs that I've run into in the work that I've been doing. Okay? And it's within this process of breaking down our own beliefs, of asking ourselves, what is it that I actually believe? And why do I believe that? Do I actually believe that? Is this truth for me? And if it's not, find your own truth. If it is, amazing. Really dig into that. Why is it that you believe that? How is it that you believe that? Where did you get that belief from? It's so beautiful and it's so exciting. Also, this filter. I love it. But it's so beautiful. This life. It's so magical. You're literally... Every time I talk to my friend Kaylee, and every time she's like, Landon, you're such a wizard. You're such an alchemist. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. It like lights me up inside. So I'd like to ask you, like, who are you? What are you? Why are you here? For me, I love the word wizard. Always liked it. Harry Potter, wizard. Me, wizard, alchemist. I just love those identifiers, those labels, which I'm not much of a label person, but those light me up. I love them so much. So I'd ask you, who are you? And if you want to say, you know what, I'm a light bulb, or I'm the light, I'm electricity, I'm love, I'm pure source light energy consciousness. It's so beautiful. Because, in fact, you are. It's just remembering that. Wow. This was a powerful one. So for those who watched this whole thing, thank you so much. I love you, and I love everyone else. But thank you for watching this whole thing. If this resonated, I highly suggest sharing it. This information is long, but I feel like more and more people need to hear this. So I love you. Please, please share. I will share this to Instagram and probably YouTube as well. But please share. And I love you, and if you ever need anything, please reach out. I am open to doing sessions. I do cellular reprogramming, subconscious alchemy. Those are more one-on-one sessions where we actually hop on a Zoom call. But if you really are deeply desiring and aligned with your journey already, that I am offering quantum attuning sessions where we dive into your subconscious through the quantum realm. And that is really potent work, and it's incredible just the amount of transformation that comes from that. And of course, tarot readings, always open. Anyways, with that, I love you. And let's leave with a nice deep breath. So let's just get comfortable. And just feeling our body, where we are, our present state of mind. Allowing ourselves to fill our lungs, deep breath in. And out. Breathing again, coming back to an organic breath. I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you so much. Till next time.